because what we're doing next is study in the UK. And I would like to welcome Sara from University of Sussex. Are you with us?
Yes, I am. Hi.
And we got Adam from Richmond University.
Hi there, everybody. My name's Adam from Richmond, the American University in London.
Excellent. And we got Ekaterina from Regents. Are you with us as well? Nope.
Student house.
Oh, she's not here yet. Oh, well, we'll start without her in that case. And finally, we have Julia at University of Portsmouth, our student.
Hi.
Hi, excellent. Welcome to you all. Now, we got 30 minutes to talk a little bit about how it is to study in the UK. And I thought we'll just start with a really quick introduction about who you are and at which university you are at. So just a really quick intro about what type of university you work at or study at. And yeah, let's start with you, Adam.
So hi everyone, my name is Adam and I work in the recruitment department at Richmond, the American International University in London. Very long name there, I know. Richmond we're an American university, but we're in the UK, so we follow the American liberal arts system of higher education. So it's a little bit different to going to a sort of a regular UK university, but you also graduate with a UK degree and an American degree. And we're a very small university, so we only have about 1,500 students. So we're one of the sort of smallest universities in the UK. So it's quite a different experience than going to perhaps one of a large university here in Sweden, or yeah, to some of my other colleagues' universities as well. And we follow this American liberal arts model of higher education. So you get a sort of lot of choice and flexibility in the classes that you take. You can switch your major and your minor. You can study two different things. So you've got quite a sort of lot of choice and flexibility in what you study. And yeah, we're located in London, so we get to take advantage of all the great things that London has to offer. And we try and use the classroom, try and do as much stuff outside of the classroom as possible. And that sort of complements what you're learning inside the classroom. So whether that's going on trips to places or, yeah, just experiencing things that other universities offer. Yeah, so sorry, brief introduction.
Excellent, thank you. And what about University of Sussex? First of all, where are you located? Because I'm not sure all Swedish students know where in the UK we are.
Yeah, of course. So Sussex University is located in Brighton. Brighton is actually called London by the Sea because it is 1 hour far from London, and it is on the coast, on the sea. And we are probably the only university in the UK which is on a great, huge national park with a lot of green. We have around 18,000 students every year, and 32% of them are international. And yeah, we are one of the best universities in the UK, in the 150, the list of the 150 best universities in the UK, #1 for development studies in the world, and very international, very open to diversity, as Brighton is very multicultural as well.
Excellent. And Julia, you are a Swedish alumni student or current student.
Yes.
Are you still okay with speaking English so the other panelists can hear us?
Yeah, sure, that's fine.
Sure. Just let me know, what are you studying, which year, and let me learn a little bit about your university.
Yeah, so I'm an architecture student of the University of Portsmouth, which is one of the only island down in the south. I'm in my second year, so I have 1 year left on this degree, but then I can choose to do a master in the same university if I want to.
Excellent. Now, I think we should start with a very easy or a very hard question, depending on which way you look at it, but it's very open regardless. So why should a Swedish student go to the UK to study? What is so special about education in the UK, and why is it a better option than to study in Sweden? I'll let Adam start because he looks really eager.
I have to confess I haven't studied in Sweden, so I can't give you a complete comparison. But I would say that one of the top reasons for Swedish students to go and study in the UK is to take advantage of all the sort of cultural and business and opportunities around your subject that perhaps you don't get in a place like Sweden. So that no matter what your course or what you're interested in, I think that the extracurricular activities, the cultural stuff, the networks you can build, the sort of work experience you can get is going to be much better in the UK than it perhaps is in Sweden. So that would be my sort of first general reason. And then yeah, I'll pass on to Sara and there'll be more.
Would you agree with the same, Sara? It's a hard question.
Yes, I do agree. I come from a different country as well. I'm Italian, and I moved to the UK only a few years ago because I studied in Brighton and in the UK, and I did enjoy this so much. That I decided to stay. And yeah, I do agree that the university in the UK offers the possibility to learn a lot, but also the possibility to meet a lot of people, to do an experience as a volunteer, for example. We have, for example, in our university, we have students are interested. We have more than 230 societies that could be part of based on the interest that they have. 30 different types of sport groups they can join, and so they can really be part of the culture and enjoy what the UK can offer. Because I think one of the best thing of living in the UK, which I can obviously say, is that it gives you the possibility to meet people from different cultures and immerse into it.
Now, from my point of view, education in the UK seems to be a little bit more practical than it is in Sweden, that there are a lot of connections to the industry that we might not have at Swedish University in the same way. Julia, is this something that you have experienced at Portsmouth, where you get to connect with the industry in a different way?
I'm honestly not sure. Well, obviously I'm only my second year, and architecture is a very long education. So I don't really know enough to be able to work with the industry in that same way. But I do believe that a lot of other people can, if you're not doing architecture, but because a lot of my friends have been working and they have this close connection to different companies. And that's something I haven't heard my Swedish friends having. So that's probably true, yes.
That sounds good. Now, I should also mention that I know a lot of the Swedish students wondering, do I have to do a full degree when I go to the UK? And I should only like to mention that at a lot of different universities, it is quite possible to just do one semester and do what's called a study abroad. And I know that's the case at both Richmond and at Sussex, right?
Yes, yeah, 100%. So this would usually be in your second or third year if you're on a 4-year program in Sweden. And yeah, you can basically come to the university for one semester. The classes you take would apply to your Swedish degree. So I don't think you delay your Swedish graduation. And obviously you pay for sort of tuition and accommodation for one semester. Generally, you'll live on campus and you'll get to sort of have the same experience as a regular student would, but obviously it would just be for one semester. And generally one semester is usually a minimum of 10 weeks, but maybe a few more depending on the university. Yeah.
And that's more or less the same setup at Sussex, right?
Yes, so sorry, I forgot to mention that I actually work for the study abroad department. That is my job, to deal with incoming students. So yeah, exactly, as Adam said, we do accept students from the second or third year for either a semester or a full year. And they can do from 6 to 12 modules, and they can mix at least Sussex University can mix and match, so they don't need to specifically study just what their degree is, but they can do different things to be able to, you know, learn more. And we do also offer a 20% discount to Swedish students that come to Sussex for a term or for 1 year.
Wonderful.
Oh, nice.
So while we're at the topic of international students, what does the international mix look like at your school? Are there lots of Swedish students, or are there lots of international students? Or yeah, just give me a rough idea what the mixture is like. So yeah, we can start at Richmond.
Oh, sorry. Someone else start. Julia, you start.
You start.
Well, I was the only Swedish student when I started, but this year I know there are a couple of more. I haven't met them, but I've got their contact information so that we can kind of hang out. But there are a lot of international students, like a lot. I think maybe 1/3 on my course are internationals, and I do think that's kind of roughly the same on every courses.
Are they mainly European students, or are they students from?
No, it's from all around
the world.
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting to meet all these people.
Yes, it is.
So what is the setup at Sussex? Do you have a lot of international students, and what would the mix look like? Are there lots of Scandinavians, or?
Okay, so I know that the percentage of international students are 32%. I know that the overall is 140 different nationalities, but I'm afraid I do not know how many are Scandinavian, I'm afraid.
But there's a few at least.
Oh yeah, for sure. There are people from all over the world, literally. So yes, there are.
That's great. And what about at Richmond?
So for us, we have about 1,500 students in total. So that's, yeah, it's quite small, as I said before. And we're really international. So we've probably only got about 300 of those are from the UK. And then the next biggest cohort is American. So I'd probably say about a half of them are American. And then the rest is a real sort of mix of international countries. India has been quite popular last year, so we always have a big group of Indians, and then a really nice group mix of European students. So there'll be probably around 250 to 300 European students as well. And the top countries from Europe, Italy, Spain, and Sweden is up there. We probably have around 10 Swedish students a year join us. So there's probably around 40 in total at the university, but that's across 4 years.
Okay. And while we're on the topic of students and moving away from home, what would the student life look like at your school? If you'll take apart the academic side, take that out of the picture and just look at student clubs, housing, everything that's part of student life, but not necessarily academic. What can you tell us about that at Richmond?
So because we have a campus in sort of southwest London, so certainly the first year students, they all live on campus, and then a few second year students as well. And third and fourth year students, they're usually bored of the campus by then, so they live in the local area with some friends in sort of shared accommodation. But on campus, I would say that we've got a very sort of like school community style feel, because the students are living on campus. We have a canteen, dining hall, so they're eating there as well. And a lot of the activities are sort of student led and student run. So there's quite a lot of student involvement in organising clubs and societies, organising some events on campus, doing local trips in the area. And I think they have a lot of fun and they really enjoy it and they have a really good experience. And then for those that sort of live off campus, they have a short commute. So usually most people would sort of cycle or perhaps get a bus. And then they're living a bit more perhaps what I call sort of in the real world. So you're just living in normal sort of residential area. You're seeing people do everyday things. And I think that's good as well, because yeah, you wouldn't want to be on campus for sort of the whole sort of 4 years. And then even though you're off campus, because it's a small university, I still feel like you get to know, you'll still know lots of people and you won't feel like you're missing out on stuff. But yeah, it's really, a lot of stuff at universities in the UK is student-led and student-run. So it does, I feel like it depends a little bit on how active you and the other fellow students are, but there's usually good groups of people that are doing some really cool stuff. And as sort of Sarah mentioned, there's a lot of clubs and societies, so you can always find something that's that you're interested in. So
in London, if you choose not to stay on campus, is it hard to find housing, and is it really expensive? Because that is something that worries a lot of students.
It is expensive, yes. To live in a shared house in a sort of residential area in South London, relatively near the university. Sorry, let me just think for a second. So yeah, you're going to be paying at least sort of £800 to £1,000 for a room in a house, and per month. And that may or may not include some bills, just depending on how it's been set up. So some people, if it's a lower end, you might have some bills on tops, and if it's at the higher end, the bills might be included. And then travel is expensive. You get student discounts, but yeah, that can be any sort of journey in or around London is probably going to cost you sort of £8, probably £5 to £8 for the day.
So living on campus might be financially quite smart.
Yes, I would say so. I think living on campus is always recommended in the first year. So if you're a new student, and particularly at somewhere like Sussex or Portsmouth as well, if you're living on campus or in the university accommodation, then you're going to be mixing with fellow students a lot more, and you're going to make friends more easily and better, I would say.
Great. So Sarah, how would you describe Brighton as a student city?
Good one.
I think Brighton is perfect for students because, as I was saying, it gives you the attractions that you can get in London, because it's very lively and full of events all the time. But you can move literally by bus very easily, walking or cycling as well. There is a very good cycling path that is available for students. I think it's great in every different moment of the day. You can enjoy Brighton, because during the day, you can enjoy the beach, just if you're careful to the seagulls, or you can, and there are a lot of water sports the student can do, like paddle boarding, kayaking. In the evening, the night it's just legendary in Brighton, because there are so many clubs that students can join, and again, affordable prices, I would say, because they are, for students, so they make sure that prices are affordable, and the students get a student discount. I would say by bus, for example, just to give you an idea, probably the monthly ticket is like £60 probably. And there are theaters, cinemas, so there is really plenty to do. And again, is not what I think is good is that it's not intimidating, because there is much to do, but very easy to, every place is very easy to reach. I say it because I come from a very small town in Italy, so, and it wasn't scary for me, it wasn't difficult for me to move around. It's never been.
Okay. And Julia, how do you use your spare time in Portsmouth? What are the student activities? And also, if you'd like to tell us how you live, was it easy to find housing? Have you moved since you moved there?
Well, talking about student life, there's so much to do. There's something going on all the time, every day. Nightclubs open every single day. People are going out every single day. There's a lot of restaurants, pubs, shopping, so there's a lot of things to do. And housing, I have moved once, and I'm going to move once again. So normally a contract is 1 year, so then you can choose to stay or move, and I've been choosing to move. It's very easy to find somewhere to live. It is fairly expensive to live by yourself compared to living together with other people. It's very, very high difference. It's almost like London prices on the new apartments, but it's easy to find. There's always somewhere you can stay. It's not hard to find at all.
Okay, now something else, something totally different that I know that a lot of listeners are wanting answers to is Brexit. How has it affected studies, and how will it affect my studies in the UK over the coming years? So I know it's quite different from different schools, but let me just say that in general, some universities have been forced to raise their fees, some has not. A lot of universities have provided new scholarships that you can apply for in order to keep the new tuition fees down a little bit. So I'm not going to go into the specific different universities, but there are several different options there. But one of the things that we need to discuss a little bit about Brexit is the fact that you now need a visa in order to study in the UK. Adam, would you like to just walk us through really quickly some of the basic things that has changed, if you wouldn't mind?
Yeah. So in terms of your actual experience, I wouldn't really say anything has changed. Once you sort of arrive at university and you're enrolled, then it's no different. So I don't think you need to be worried about that. But as Elisabeth said, the application process and specifically the visa is what's made it a bit more complicated. So essentially now, rather than just being able to come to the UK when you need to for your start date, you will have to pay a deposit for your fees, and then we issue you with a special letter which has what's called a CAS, C-A-S number, and you use this to book an appointment at the British Embassy in Stockholm or Gothenburg or wherever to get a visa appointment, and then you go to that appointment with your passport and you get this entry visa. So that's the key thing that has changed. So students now will be required to pay money up front for their course, which they weren't before. And there are extra charges around that as well, because as part of being an international student, you have to pay for your NHS. And I can't remember the exact amount, but you have to pay up front for your whole course. So if you're studying for 3 years, you need to pay, I think it's about, do you know, Sarah, £700 for a year. So it's quite a significant cost up front. Yeah, that's the key. That's the big thing.
That is the main difference, I'd say. But Sarah, there's some good news if you're doing a study abroad, if you're only staying for 1 semester, right?
Yeah, either 1 semester or the full year. In both cases, you get a 20% discount. So yeah, we thought it was a way to encourage students to come and study in the UK. So yeah, and so obviously you don't need a visa for a 6 months course. You only need it if you stay for more than 11 months. So for the full year.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the really good news, I think, about the study abroad. It will still mean that you can go there and you can apply quite quite soon before the actual start, because you don't need to worry about the timing of applying for a visa as well. So it is possible to get the idea to travel to the UK quite shortly before you actually go, if you're only going for 1 semester.
Yeah, so on that note, that yeah, it'd be harder to apply as a late applicant now as well because of this visa thing. Now, luckily in Sweden, the services are very efficient, I think. So it's not like some countries where it might take a week or 2 weeks to get a visa appointment. But yeah, it does mean you have to be a bit more organized and apply a bit earlier, I think.
That's right. And we talked a little bit about living costs and so forth. Now, with the visa, you're still allowed to work part-time. That's correct, right?
Correct, but your hours are capped at 20 hours per week, which is good, because if you're studying full-time, you can't really be working more, otherwise you won't be able to study. But it does limit you, yeah.
True. So Julia, if we go to your university and your student friends, do a lot of them have a job on the side of the studies, or are they 100% focused on just studying?
I think most of the people are just focusing on studying. Some people have a part-time job during like holidays, so over Christmas and summer, but there's not a lot of people that actually work during the semesters.
Oh, okay, so they all have student loans that still can provide for them.
And sorry, and just on that note, you can work more hours outside of term time, just to complicate it. So you can work for longer over the holidays.
That's right. So if you choose to stay during the summer holiday or over Christmas or something, you can work more then.
Yeah, correct.
Yes. And I should also mention that the Swedish CSM funding has not changed due to Brexit. It is still the same regulations there. It has only changed for language studies, but not for university studies. It has affected foundation programs. So if you're studying a foundation program in the UK, it will sadly not be able to be funded by CSN anymore. But when it comes to bachelor degrees, master degrees, study abroad semesters, you can still get a student loan and allowance there. Okay, we're almost running out of time. So if there's any of the listeners that would like to ask any questions, please feel free to do so in the chat. And other than that, I'm just going to give you all 1 minute each to sum up what we talked about a little bit and give the best advice that you can for a Swedish student. What should they think about? If they're thinking about going to the UK to study, why should they do it? And is there anything they should think about before they head off? Do you want to start, Sara?
Okay, yeah, sorry, I also wanted to mention that if you guys are interested in a semester or a year in as a visiting student, the application, if you want to apply for the autumn term, is now, because it's gonna end, the application is now, so just to let you know if you're interested. And yeah, my minute on why I think Sussex should be your choice. Because it will, research proof that if you spend a period studying outside your country, it gives you more possibility both professionally and academically. I think you guys speak a great English already, but I think obviously living in the country in the UK will help and improve the language even more. I think Brighton is a great compromise because you are in a small place, in a great campus where you will feel like you live in a small city where you are helped and supported, but at the same time you have possibility to visit a lot of places. London is only 1 hour away, and academically, the possibility that Sussex University gives you are very good. The employment rate after is amazing, so I would definitely think about it.
Well, wonderful. Adam, a few parting words.
Sorry?
Adam, would you like to give a few parting words as well?
Yes. So guys, my advice for you would be really think about the type of university you want to go to. Do you want to go to something that's smaller in the countryside, that's campus based, or do you want to be in the city, in downtown, where it's a bit busier and going on? And then I'd really think about as well why you want to go to university. Do you want to have a sort of cultural, international experience, or are you doing it more for the technical reasons and to get your degree? And I think once you sort of answer those two questions, then you can start to pick the different universities. And what I would say about Richmond is that the type of students that do well here, they like small environments, but they have sort of big aspirations, and you want to be in a small community where you're sort of well looked after and where there's lots of opportunities, but you also want to be in London in a really busy, bustling city. And we have really great scholarships and internships for all students as well. So you can do a work placement in your final year.
Wonderful. And finally, Julia, are you happy with your choice, and would you recommend Swedish students to join in your footsteps?
I'm very happy with my choice, and I would definitely recommend people to come to the UK or England. It's been such a great experience, and I wouldn't change it at all. I just want to say that if you're thinking about it, just try it. There's a lot of things that you have to think about before, but most things will kind of sort themselves out, and there's always people that will help you. Because I know I felt very intimidated, like, what do? I have no idea how to apply, and everyone was so helpful, and it was so easy when you just got started. So I would say just go for it and try it.
That sounds really good advice, I think. Well, thank you so much. I know there's some questions in the chat as well that we just did not have time for this time, but we will definitely look through the chat afterwards and make sure that we email you all the answers. If there's something that I can't help you with, I will make sure to put you in contact with the panelists of today. And with that said, thank you so much for taking time to be here with us tonight. And to Julia, good luck with your studies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Not at all. Thanks, Elisabeth. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye, thanks.